Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to Bloody Podcast. This is part two of Sarah Boone, the Suitcase Killer, the trial. Part one has been up for a week now. So if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to that one. It covers her interrogation and her arrest in detail. And we didn't spend as much time on the trial because a lot of it is repetitive. It is a lot of her going back and forth and delaying essentially the trial in different ways, which we will cover here. We just didn't want to get too deep into the weeds because it would get repetitive, as it would be dealing with Sarah, and we should all have a little bit of mercy for the judge on this case. But we'll get into it. Thanks for listening. Let's jump right in. Sarah Boone's trial was an entire circus of which she thought she was definitely the ringmaster.
Hmm.
First, it was delayed due to the COVID pandemic, which makes sense because the murder happened in 2020. Proceedings started in 2024. Really started in 2023, and then trial was scheduled tentatively for first 2023 and then 2024. Before her actual trial, Sarah went through 8 lawyers, 7 of them being public defenders. So after working the case for a couple of months or so, most of them requested to withdraw due to irreconcilable differences with Sarah. And others just claimed a conflict of interest.
Yeah. Well, basically the one of the bigger things was that, these are public defenders. So they're representing multiple people, and her attitude was, "No, I want to see you every day and I want a report of what's happening every day." And they're like, "No, that's not a thing. That's not what we do.
I want to see every piece of evidence, everything."
Yes.
Yeah, call me all the time.
Oh my
Yes.
God. It's definitely like dealing with someone who has all these like particular habits and just won't adhere to the way that things are supposed to be. It's so annoying. Oh my
Yes.
God. And they're just like,
Yeah.
we can't fucking work with her, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody can. Yeah.
Her attitude is like, because she'll be like, "Well, this isn't how the law should be."
Exactly.
She wants to essentially change the law. Like,
Exactly. And you're like,
Yeah.
that's just how it is. And she's like, well, let's change it. And you're
Yeah.
like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No, we have to change it for me.
Yes.
Me.
Yeah.
Me alone.
So, while in custody, Sarah writes several letters to the judge on her case, Judge Michael Kraynick. One of these is like a 58-page letter to the judge. 58 pages. And it sounds impressive, but I also want to remind you, one, she's in jail. She has a lot of time.
Yes.
And two, in reality, I read the letter. The letter is dated June 7th. And it was actually 2 to 3 letters written at separate times.
Okay.
Mostly complaining about her current lawyer at the time and how she felt that the world had already decided that she was guilty and that wasn't fair. Because of everything that's out there, meaning like law and court TV, all this stuff. Everybody's covered her case extensively. Yeah. And we have body cam footage, we have interrogation footage, we have her cell phone. But even though she is saying everybody's guilty or everybody thinks I'm guilty, but they're not looking at the evidence, but the evidence is all there. The evidence is all there to prove I'm not guilty. It's nuts. It's the craziest cyclical.
Yeah.
Just prattling on. Oh, I get so frustrated thinking about it.
It's horrible.
It's the same thing with drinking. I'm not drinking. I never get drunk, but I was drinking and I didn't. I was in control, but I was drinking and I didn't have control. But I always have control.
Yeah.
But I'm not drunk, and I wasn't.
But
drunk.
I'm not drunk. Yeah.
So I would say that letter, the 58-page letter, maybe like 5 to 7 pages is her complaining, right? And then the rest of it is lists of legal terms defined, like literally definitions from legal textbooks that she's like, getting in prison. So she's like, she'll write like habeas corpus and then the actual definition of habeas corpus and client.
A reprimand.
Yeah.
This is again, she constantly goes back to the fact she got straight A's in high school. Mm-hmm. This is a high school level intelligence summation where it's like, I'm going to show you I can regurgitate information back to you to show how intelligent I am. And that's like, that is not how you show intelligence. You know,
Yeah.
this is not an assignment, Sarah. You don't have to do definitions,
Yeah.
for the
She's
law.
like, but I passed.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. Here's the proof of it. And you don't know what you're doing in your job doing this thing that I'm talking to you about.
Oh, man.
Oh,
wow.
yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a finger in your fucking face as she's saying this shit to you.
You listen to me, you.
She accuses her current lawyer of having an attitude, being difficult, lacking communication, withholding information from her, not believing her. And she also includes a map of the U.S. and a global map. And she marks every state and country where she's received correspondence from about her case on the maps. And not only is this kind of glorifying herself secretly, not so secretly, it's also her complaining about all of these people have heard about my case and they've already decided that I'm guilty, and I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
For real.
She can't get a fair trial because Kelly in Poughkeepsie wrote to her and said, you're a bitch.
Yeah. And so
it's like the end of those Housewives show where they're just like, Kelly in Poughkeepsie says that you're kind of a bitch. What's up with that?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Because that's what I've shown you all season.
When you point a finger at me, you're pointing 4 back at you.
Yeah. She probably doesn't even have a dress.
Whatever, officer, you don't even have a dress.
You don't know. You don't know how the world works. You don't even have a dress.
Yeah, you don't have a dress.
I'm not drunk.
Yeah. So after 8 lawyers, the judge ruled that at this point, Sarah would have to represent herself. He's had fucking enough.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And that was pretty awesome.
That was awesome. He provided a 16-page document explaining why and all the details of it. And she did. She did represent herself at a couple of pre-trial hearings. And I watched them. And she uses the time to ask more fucking banal questions, rehashing the judge's motions about the self-representation, and accusing him of not reading her letters. And she states over and over again that she doesn't know what she's doing and that she needs some help. But the judge repeatedly tells her, I cannot give you legal advice. I can only tell you what is happening at these motions, at these hearings. But she doesn't know what she's doing, and she's just trying to do right by the court, and she needs things explained to her. It's basically how it goes for hours. Normally, I'm pretty sure that they would move a little faster just based on how many times she asks the same question yet again in her own hearings. It's crazy. Okay.
There's like a 35-minute conversation about how she can get a USB drive.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, like I can't, it's like talking to my dad.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know how many ways I can explain to you how to use the USB drive.
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, where am I supposed to get it? Radio Shack, do they have those?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Shack's
ma'am.
been closed for a while, ma'am. What?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I love too, is the whole point of that conversation. And there's another similar conversation about her getting a laptop, is that she wants these things and she petitioned to have them by the court, but then the judge is like, but then she's also like, but I have nowhere to put them because I'm in prison. And the judge is like, so you want these things, we can technically give them to you, but you have nowhere to put them. You're in a federal facility. You can't store them anywhere. Therefore, essentially, she's like saying, give me all the evidence in my case, but I can't have it. So, and I don't have anywhere to study it. I don't have anywhere to go through the discovery of my own case, but I want it. And I want to represent she didn't look to represent herself, but she certainly didn't help the whole thing. Because the judge kept warning her, hey, if you try to represent yourself in your particular case, that's going to be real hard. It's going to be real hard if you end up having to do that because you have nowhere you can go through all of the stuff. You're in prison.
Yeah.
You're already there.
Well, let me
Yeah.
out of prison and I'll figure it out.
No, there's no but. Yeah.
That's basically what she wants. She wanted to be let out of prison so she could,
Yeah.
fight her own case for
Yeah.
herself. Yeah. And the judge was like, not going to
No.
happen.
In another 6-page letter to the judge, she includes a flyer seeking a lawyer. It reads, "Looking for a prosperous challenge? Ready for your close-up on national television?
Oh, God.
Are you zealous with a side of keen?" And then there's like
What?
several bullet points about what she's looking for in her type of lawyer, her case number, and it ends with the message, "Invest in the oppressed. Believe."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
By the way, Zealous with a Side of Keen is a great name for a detective show about two officers named Officer Zealous and Officer
Yes.
Keen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to spell it the same way, but Zealous with a Side of Keen?
And they're tracking a mob boss called the Blue-Eyed White Dragon.
Blue-eyed white dragon.
I will say the penmanship on this flyer is actually pretty good. So, I mean, I think in another world, if she could, she would be really good at calligraphy.
Well, she learned it in high school. She was grade
Yeah.
A.
Yeah. And this is back when you had to be really good at penmanship because this is what went on like your folder or your
Yeah.
binder.
Yeah.
So I'm still not impressed. I see that it curves and it slants and it's not that great. That's what I would tell her. Just kind of want to make her feel worse.
Yeah.
So incredibly, this flyer actually does work. And a lawyer named James Owen starts helping her file motions and eventually is granted access to be the lawyer on her case because it's just going to be easier for the courts overall if there actually is a legal counsel on it. So I guess eventually the judge is like, fine, but this is like it.
Yeah.
And that lawyer is like, all right, he tries to file a motion to push the trial back date even more because it's already, been delayed, but he's just getting on the case. Lawyer says, nope. Or I mean, the judge says, nope. It's October 7th. We're not changing it. You have I think he gets put on in August and has from August to trial date on October 7th to prep for the case now, which is not long for such a big case.
Yeah. It's not at all.
It's not. But I mean, whatever. He chose to take it.
Yeah.
And at her trial, Owens tries to take the route of battered person defense.
Yeah. Now it's a whole different thing. She's no longer arguing this like, I didn't know. Now it's like a whole, she was triggered.
She was triggered after years of abuse is the whole argument now. When we tell you that it went the same as her interrogation for her, basically it's just it's the same bullshit. She did the same. It's incredible how much deeper she dug while at trial. So on the stand, she tries to she tells stories of or accounts of when George previously abused her. She tells the story of when he stabbed her with a kitchen knife or a steak knife in the thigh, and that she was bleeding to death is the way that she said it, and had to go to the hospital. And then while on the stand, she also gets caught in a ton of lies. She changes the story about the events leading up to him being in the suitcase again, and tries to claim during cross-examination that George had actually been angry on and off all day that day, but then immediately walks it back after they remind her, you said that you guys had a pleasant day. Then there's witnesses that are called in. The neighbors are called in as witnesses, and they say, and here's where my conspiracy theory, not really conspiracy theory, I just think it wasn't pursued because it was too difficult to prove. The neighbors say that they heard a very loud series of thumps in that night that he died. So one neighbor, the neighbor that shares a wall with her, came in and testified and said, my room and the ceiling of my room is below their staircase. I hear
Okay.
everything that happens in their staircase, and my roommate lives at the top of their like, basically, they can both hear what's happening in the on the staircase, at least in the other apartment. And these are obviously their apartments, so you can hear a lot anyway. So
Yeah.
they already hear them yelling all the time anyway. So he says that that evening around, I think it was 11 p.m., he hears a big like thud and thump. First upstairs, like something thumping over and over, and then what is clearly something very, very heavy falling down the stairs.
Oof.
Oh, okay.
And that the roommate heard it too, so much so that when they saw each other like a little bit later as roommates, they were like, did you hear that? Like, they thought it was something like an earthquake or something. Like, they were like, what the hell was that? And then
Right.
they kind of brushed it off, so there is a theory that somehow George ended up in the suitcase while he was upstairs.
Oh,
Who
okay.
knows how that happened? Either
Yeah.
she might have forced him in, or maybe when he was drunk upstairs, he kind of folded into it. I don't know. But
Yeah.
if that's the case, then she had already hurt him severely by throwing him down the stairs. If
Well,
he,
didn't they say that there was a bat found next to the
yes.
soup? Yeah.
So the bat was another thing that she explains the bat. She admits to hitting him with the bat. She says what happened, and this is what happens in between those two videos, is when she realized, like, when George was in the suitcase, she says that his tone of voice started to change, and he started to sound angry, and it's that tone of voice that lets her know that violence is coming, essentially.
Hmm.
And she got nervous, and she grabbed the bat when she saw that his hand was starting to stick out of the luggage piece, and she used the bat to kind of like hitting his hand and driving it back into the suitcase over and over.
Yikes.
So she admits that she hit him with the bat to drive his hand back in. Now, I think she only admits to the hand, which makes
Yeah.
sense too, because there are a bunch of bruises and marks on his hand during the autopsy. So either maybe she hit him over the head with the luggage clothes with the bat too,
Hmm.
which I think they talk about. I think that is also what happened, or what they're trying to prove. But that other blunt force trauma that he has to his skull and to his neck and stuff, and to his shoulder, that's either coming from the bat or from being thrown down the stairs. But
Yeah.
it's not truly, like, the details of how it happened upstairs or downstairs, I think aren't as covered, because they're just trying to prove that she intentionally killed him,
Yeah,
walked
it's
away.
more
Yeah.
like just to get to the point of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he really suffered in that suitcase.
Yeah. He
That's a
did.
shame.
During closing statements, George's family left the courtroom crying. And based on this, quote, emotional reaction, her scumbag lawyer tried to have the case dismissed, as he was concerned that their emotional reaction affected the jury. This motion was denied.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
All in
Ridiculous.
all, the trial. And it's ridiculous. There's even a portion where she makes a motion to ask to be allowed snacks during her trial. And this motion is also denied.
I started watching this body language, person who reads somebody who reads body language, and they were reading Sarah Boone's thing, and it was just like constantly like, okay, she's frowning right now, so she's not agreeing with what's being said. Okay, so she's frowning again, so she's not agreeing with what's like, it's just like, okay, now she's got a more of a downward smile, so that means that she doesn't like what's being said. It's just like,
What
yeah,
a profession. What a
Yeah.
profession. Guys,
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at this.
yeah.
I should
Did
be
they talk
hired by
about when she
cops.
was smiling? Because there was times where she was looking over at somebody
Yeah.
and like smiling and giggling.
Yeah, she's like, oh, she really thinks she's doing well right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Are they like an influencer? Can we have their job?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's some bald guy who's like, probably this is like a side hustle or his whole job.
I
Who
think
knows?
it's his whole job right now. People
Yeah.
love that shit.
Pass.
So the jury finds Sarah guilty of second-degree murder.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention that before the trial started, I do have it in here. I don't know how I skipped it. Before the trial started, she had a chance at a plea deal, a very good one.
Right. Yeah.
She had a chance at a plea deal that said voluntary manslaughter, 15 years with 4.75 years already served, and she has to serve at least 85% of the 15 years, which is not bad.
Parole?
No, like
yeah, to
in
be-
prison.
Okay.
But
Okay,
she
it's
already
not bad.
served 4 of those years.
Dude, take the deal.
No.
Yeah, so she would have parole. She could have parole in as early as, well, let's see. 15 minus 4.75. Shoot. Never mind. I can't do math.
That's okay.
She'd be out
She
a
would
while.
be out very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's not guilty, guys.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And her
She could
lawyers
be out in about 8 to 9 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And her lawyers should know that she's not guilty and should want to defend her to the death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So she didn't
Yeah.
take the deal
She did not. No.
Idiot.
and she got life in prison.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm
Yes,
honestly
I'm
glad
glad.
she didn't take the deal because, like we've said before, George was not the best guy. He clearly had a substance abuse issue. He was clearly a violent, abusive person, but he was still a human being who deserved to, be accountable for his actions, but not killed.
Never
And
killed.
so-
No, it's crazy.
And the way that she killed him was so inhumane and so horrific that, yeah, I'm glad she didn't take the deal, and I'm glad she got a life sentence.
She
because,
gets what she deserves, ultimately.
deserves it.
At her
Yeah.
own hand.
At her
Yeah.
own hand. And that is just lovely and so sweet to see.
Yeah.
Yes.
That part is because she truly, if she were just one iota smarter, she probably would have gotten away with it, or at least gotten a much lesser charge. And thank
Yes.
God she didn't.
No.
Yeah.
She was just a horrible, dumb, mean person
Mm-hmm.
who
Yeah.
will never see how they truly are perceived by the world, which is crazy.
It's fine.
Which is great.
It's fine.
Yeah.
As long as it's behind bars. It's fine.
Yeah. And at her sentencing, when you're supposed to give this speech where you're supposed to apologize for what you did and ask for a
Mhm.
lesser sentence, she takes the time to forgive everybody who's done her wrong.
Yes.
She forgives George's family for not doing
Yeah.
more to help
Yeah.
her.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, see, this is why if I was George's fan, I would have gotten up and tried to attack her at that point.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
Like
they
that.
wanted
Oh
to.
my God.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She even forgives George himself for all the
Yeah.
abuse that he inflicted upon her and absolutely nothing that she did to him. And she also forgives the judge.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
And she wrote like another 27-page letter to the judge after the trial. And I bet if we look it up right now, she's still writing letters.
Oh yeah. Well, she's in a
the
custody
judge.
battle with her ex-husband.
God
Because
damn
he
it.
finally filed for divorce and full custody of the kid, and so she's in now she's in on this. So she's still writing letters.
That's
but
insane.
it's crazy.
Hi, listeners. Maria here with some updates on Sarah Boone. During her criminal trial, Sarah and her ex-husband Brian were also in family court over alimony and custody of their son. Brian petitioned for the court to stop alimony payments because he didn't think it was right that he pay $1,000 a month for her life while she was in prison for murder. He also wanted sole custody of their kid. When the defense on the criminal case wanted to use some of the testimony from the family case to prove Brian was biased, the records were unsealed, revealing another trove of letters Sarah had written to the court and to Brian. At first, in letters to Brian, she claimed to have cancer. Then in letters to the court, she complained about the injustices and bad treatment from Brian that she had received over the phone, and how as time went by, her son had begun to disregard her as well because of Brian. At the time, the judge ruled that they would postpone until the criminal trial had been resolved. Brian sold their Winter Park home in 2023 before the criminal trial began. Family courts are sealed, so the updates on whether he had to pay for her alimony anymore after she was found guilty stop here. Since being sentenced to life in prison, Sarah had a chance to apply for an appeal immediately following her case. Following her sentencing, she was assigned an appellate attorney, a lawyer who specializes in appeals, on December 18th, 2024. Then in late January, Sarah wrote to the courts asking why she hadn't heard from the assigned attorney, Joshua Adams. She got a response in February when the appeal motion was acknowledged by the court and Adams contacted her. Over the next few months, several extensions would be granted on the appeals case. By May, the court filed a notice stating that no brief had been filed yet and ordering that either movement be made on the case or the appeal would be dismissed. In July, Sarah wrote to the court stating that Mr. Adams had only contacted her by phone once on February 27th and hadn't been in contact with her since. Despite her writing letters and having 9 other people on the outside try to get a hold of him, which is weird. Why would you have 9 different people try to get a hold of him? Maybe just try the 1 or the 2. But I digress. She asked that the court not hold this against her since she is clearly not to blame here. So another extension of time was granted, this time till September 1st of 2025. But later that month, in July, Joshua Adams submitted a notice to withdraw, stating that he no longer works in appeals and therefore is no longer a viable attorney to work on Sarah's case. Before he left in August 2025, Josh Adams motioned for another 60 days extension past the September 1st deadline, seemingly as a last-ditch effort to help Sarah maybe, but was denied because he hadn't made any effort to meet with opposing counsel. This update is just a few days after that September 1st deadline, and as a non-attorney, I don't know what happens next. But it does seem unjust, even with Sarah's background, that she not get the opportunity to appeal. But then again, Sarah has proven time and time again that she is unwilling to properly work with a lawyer. And Josh Adams was the 11th lawyer on this case. Sarah Boone currently resides at Lowell Correctional Institution in Ocala, Florida. Well, that is the story of Sarah Boone. It's still going on. She's still in prison in Florida. And I bet if you ask her, she will tell you that she's not drunk.
Yeah, she's not drunk.
Even now.
Never
but
drunk.
I guess maybe now there's a higher chance.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah. Toilet wine doesn't get me drunk either.
yeah. Just a light buzz.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Maria, for doing all that research and telling us that story. We thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, I miss your thank yous. That's nice.
Thank you to the listeners. And yeah, if you have any suggestions of any people we should be looking into, please email us at thebloodypodcast@gmail.com. I almost gave away my personal email.
Which is no longer in use.
Which is no longer in use.
Guys, if you don't have Lori's old email, you're not going to get her new email.
Yeah.
So you should really get on that with the old email.
Yeah. Email my old email to get my new email. That's how I work.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you so much. Follow us on social media at Bloody Podcast.
Follow us on social media too on our personal stuff if you want to see more about shows. Follow Lori's stuff. Oh wait, Lori doesn't have stuff right now.
I'm not on social media.
Follow Lori through the mall, the Torrance Mall. She'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always at the Torrance Mall.
She's at the Del Amo Mall.
Yeah. Follow me there. I'll be in the Chipotle. So yeah, we're good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right,
All right.
everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.